What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an FNGR, technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this Taco Tuesday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. So I usually don't dive in with the indicators first, but there is something extremely pertinent to talk to you about here. Regarding the next support zone. And I think with today's price action, it was a clear validation over what's happening, right? So let's go ahead and first identify the downside, right? So are we in fact being suggested any type of bearish momentum? Well, Armor is telling us yes. So it actually did give us, it gave us a long signal here. We went up and now it gave us a short signal just today, right? So yesterday, sorry. So we got that short signal. We're suggesting a continuation to the downside and still no recovery. In fact, we're printing a dark red band, which means potential continuation to the downside. Okay, so using Armor, we have already solidified a downside. Okay, so now, let's go ahead and check this out. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you one of my personal algorithms that I haven't released this one yet. It's only for the master students they're the only ones who have this. But this is not for promo or anything. But on the daily time frame here, you can see here that we also did get from my personal algo this short signal, right? So we have gotten that downside. But I want to show you that the reversion variant is showing us that we could be facing a support right at the mean, which is at $4.30. So this is essentially reverting to a mean to validate it before a continuation to the upside. Okay, so now that we know that we have a $4.30 target, please remember that. Okay, so as we're going to be speaking about this often, and let me just go ahead and revert back to the 12-hour time frame, and now we're going to bring up another ARQ indicator. I'm going to introduce you to another one here, and this is actually called Balancer. Okay, so Balancer gives you the higher highs and higher lows, lower lows and lower highs on a historical period, right? So in turn, it also shows you the relevant areas of support and resistance, right? So what's characteristic within this indicator that's very unique is that it does carry VWAP, the volume weighted average price. And go ahead and notice where the VWAP is located. That's right at 430. Right, so if this is suggesting for us to come back down to the volume weighted average price of $4.30, and the reversion variant is telling us $4.30, and we have Armor suggesting a downside with this short signal. I mean, not only that is the reversion variant also showed us that we had a signal. I mean, two of them actually in the 12-hour and a single one here, the high conviction one here on the daily. So chances are is that we may actually have found the support zone that we're looking for, right? So let me actually see if we do have, okay, yes. So the support zone that's coming up, please remember that I just said support, okay? So now looking at DBSI, this is the ARQ DBSI indicator. This is a statistical indicator that takes metric of every single candle printed throughout the entire trading history of whatever time frame you're looking at from your asset, and then actually gives you a statistical variance, right? So this for example here, is telling us that we are at a 54% bear strength versus a 46% bull strength, right? So it's not that big of a difference considering that we are in an upper time frame right now. So that is to show you that we are about to face a potential support coming up in the short term, right? So this is a very powerful thing. And I do hold high regard to it because it is also following my discretion. This is what I mean also by discretion. Check this out. You guys always hear me say this, okay? So if you're new to the channel, then you're going to go ahead and experience it for the first time, right? So we have ladder number 1, right? We have ladder number 2, right? We have 3. What happens after 3? Usually 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those become the higher probability targets for retracement or for a reversal, right? So this would be here, number 4, right? So the 1, 2, 3, this is the 4th one. And then since we're suggesting a touch down to the 430 level, that becomes test number 5, doesn't it? So test number 5 may actually be the one that we're looking at for us to face a massive bounce to the upside. And that would be pretty indicative of an upside considering that we are looking at the 430 reversion variant mean. We're looking at the 430 VWAP level of the balancer, right? We're looking at so many things that are located within that area there. And one more thing that I actually didn't even check are actually averages. Do we have something there? I'm not sure, but we can go ahead and check it out, right? So let me just load up here the SMA 10 and it's up here. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a look at the 21 day, and also I'm not displaying any of my EMAs. So let's just go ahead and display those EMAs and see what's good. Okay, so in fact, it's showing us about 472 and this is 412. All right, so no major moving averages are landing with it. Oh, never mind. Yes. Sorry, right? The daily time frame, EMA 21, located right at about 435. That could be the support zone that we're looking for. So the EMA 21, guys, is a very important moving average that we often come back and validate. So please notice here, let me get rid of the convoluted chart here and just leave displayed the EMA 21 and 55. So let me get this out of the way. This is also my own algorithm too, right? So yeah, go ahead and notice here that we have the break upside of the EMA 55. We came back and validated, right? We succeeded, validated, continued on to the upside, got a silver cross here, EMA 21 over the EMA 55. Right? So we have that huge upside resistance phase. We come back and validate the EMA 21, even though we had this huge upside, right? We still come back to it to validate it, to tell us that it's still, in fact, a valid area of support. Continue onwards and upwards. And what do you think is happening again? Check it out. Reversion all the way back down to around 434, 435. And that's very significant because of the, first of all, this top side of the range here, located at 435. Also the 430 of the reversion variant. 430 of the VWAP, short signal on the armor, short signal on the variant. Everything is literally rhyming with that potential side, guys. Come on, with that with that potential drop to that area. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue on this because I realized that this one chart, the first chart, was going to carry a significant amount of information for us. Okay, so now you guys remember that I was already speaking of the pennant, right? This was a bullish formation, usually favors the bulls when we're forming it during an uptrend, of which did happen, except that we failed it. Why did we fail it? Well, that's because the pennant wasn't the one that we were trading. And I did express that there could be a potential downside from this, right? I expressed that this can be played both ways. So if we are to take the shortest time frame, first of all, I want you to pay attention to this target here because this is the breakout candle, right? This was the breakout candle. Notice how it came down to that very support. So we did meet a price objective from it, didn't we? All right. So now what I'm thinking, this is the 4-hour chart. What I'm thinking here is that since we invalidated our pennant and already realized kind of one of the price objectives, I'm not saying that we can't realize the second and or the third. But what I am looking at here is the potential forming of another formation, right? And that formation is actually a falling wedge. So the falling wedge would be a bullish formation as well. Okay, so in this case, I am thinking that we could do this, okay? I'm going to just go ahead and just kind of bring down the visibility from the pennant a little bit and focus on the falling wedge here. Since we do have several touches of confluence here, right? And also notice that the pennant suggested that downside, which just so happened to be the support area of the pennant, right? So lots of rhyming here. Okay, so 4-hour time frame, right? So let's just say that we continued downward here, right? We could face the bottom side of about 466 tomorrow or something, right? We get that downside, we get a bounce to the upside, potentially faced either a resistance from 527 or even the area of about somewhere to 493 to $5, right? So we'll get that resistance there, and then we come back down with this ebb and flow, right? So to where eventually, maybe by this coming Monday, I don't know. I mean, it could be, right? So this coming Monday or even Tuesday, we could be facing a bottom side here. So that's getting a lot closer. I mean, the apex of the triangle is already at 430, 429, in fact. So that's a little too low, right? So when we're looking at 435, that would be closer to around maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, right? So this is entirely theoretical. There's nothing backed for this. I'm just expressing here a deep amount of thought. Okay, so we could be in line for probably an early next week breakout out of this as soon as we capture the apex of the triangle, Right. So in that case, yeah, I think that we're building a potential bullish formation here before a continuation to the upside, which, by the way, the apex and all that matches the 430 to 435 level that we're looking at on the VWAP, the reversion variant, right? All that stuff, right? So yeah, team, that's kind of what I'm looking at here, and also the ladders, right, that we were counting on the 12-hour time frame. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here, and I know, man, I know this is getting really close to the end of July, right? So we could potentially be seeing a pretty nice bounce by around, to the end of July here. We could be seeing a pretty significant bounce to the upside, and it would be pertinent, right? So, I mean, look at this. This lasted a long time, right, for us to face that eventual support and then bounce to the upside, So it's kind of like it, right? Except that it's growing because the price action is growing too, right? So we have a very tiny little pullback here, then we have a larger pullback, then we have a larger one than that, then we have an even larger one than that, and you can see here that this is another even larger one, right? So the ebb and flow is really expanding here, and it is indicative of a potential squeeze happening, right? So I'm just speculating here, team. Okay, so just go ahead and keep your eyes on those bottom side targets. And now looking at the enhanced MACD, the ARQ enhanced MACD, part of the indicator series that we just released as well, still has that bear signal printed here, and it is suggesting a continuation to the downside. In fact, the divergence strategy versus the ARCa strategy is still favoring a short right here. It's still favoring the downside. And another thing is that you can see here that we actually entered long. The strategy entered long and actually got in profit, took a trailing stop loss. And the trailing stop loss is minus, I think, 4% or 5% right now. Well, for the new holders of these indicators, I'm definitely going to pull out some new videos, and also I'm going to be holding some seminars for this indicator in the coming days. Okay, team, for these indicators, for the whole set and the divergence strategy and everything, all that stuff. All right, team. So let's just go ahead and just bear with me, and we'll allow access to all of the Div 1 to every new holder. Okay, team. So yeah, we're still favoring some downside here as well. So let's look at the next area of heavy confluence. Okay, the weekly time frame Gaussian band. Well, that's located at about 440. Right. So that's, again, it's like within a 10-cent range. I get it. Right. But it's incredible. Actually, I'm so sorry. Here it is. Bi-weekly Gaussian band, $4.30. My goodness, man. What do you think of that? Right. So now we have the Gaussian band. We have the Gaussian band. We have the reversion variant. And we have the VWAP of balancer, the armor, and DBSI suggesting a short-term downside before a reaccumulation and continuation to the upside, of which, of course, we're knocking at the door of that resistance already. Right. So, team, this couldn't be more precise in my life. Please go ahead and request access for your new indicators. Right. We'll go over the details for that stuff, team. And anyway, let me just go ahead and try to finish this off and validate our potential downside. Right. So, I want you to notice one more thing, right, that I already had a full discretion target here, right? And not only the fact that the ascending channel that we thought we found a floor at is, look at this. If we're looking at, what did we say? Potential Monday, like Tuesday or Wednesday or something, right? Around there. Look at the mean of the channel itself around Tuesday. Right here, right there. Let me get it as close as I can. Oh my goodness. What's the target over there, team? What is the damn target? 426 to around 435 again, right? So that's what I'm talking about, team. Everything is confluent here. Potential continuation to around 430 where we could see a huge bounce to the upside. I'm waiting, right? I'm definitely waiting. And what gives us that validation? We talked about, let's see, Tuesday or Wednesday, right? We're on Taco Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's 3 days, right? And then we're looking at a Monday, the fourth day, Tuesday being the 5th and Wednesday being the 6th day. Well, what is the 5-day time frame RSI telling us? Downside with a support down here. Oh my goodness. Team, I seriously feel like we found it, right? I feel like we found that point. I don't want to say the perfect, right? Damn it. All right, I am going to say an ideal entry, right? So if we don't get that full on downside there, try not to press charges here, right? Right, team? But that's essentially what I'm looking at here before a continuation to the upside. And I do think that there is a heavy amount of confluence within that 430 target, even the 5-day RSI suggesting a continuation down to here, right? Every time frame is suggesting a downside. Right. And this is literally the freaking 5-day expecting us to believe it, or the 3-day. Sorry, even better. Oh, my goodness. It's the damn 3-day. Yes. All right. The 5-day is suggesting a downside too with a massive drop right there. But the 3-day. All right. That means it's closer. That means that it may be Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure. All right, team. But please remember first and foremost that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Okay, team, remember that. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.